Good afternoon and welcome to NYFP. In midday trade, we're seeing the major U.S. stock averages still trade in negative territory, but we are off session lows. Joining me this afternoon is Doreen Mogavero of Mogavero and Lee. Hi, Doreen. Thanks for joining me today.
Well, thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it on a day like today.
Well, indeed, in mid-afternoon trade, we are still in the red, but we are off the lows we saw this morning. And focus does remain on both Italy as well as Greece. But in terms of technical levels, what are you watching right now?
Well, I think that obviously the Dow Jones Industrial Average below 12,000 is not only a psychological, psychological, but a technical level as well. And I think we're still looking at 1,200 as a low on the S&P. So we're a little bit above that, so that's not too much of a worry at this point.
And Doreen, I'm sure a lot of investors out there, as well as your regular American consumer, they are wondering why Italian bond yield soaring is relevant. But can you explain that a little bit?
Well, there is sort of a given that when we get any bond yield, not just the Italian bond yield, at a 7% level, that's a little bit too high, and it indicates that there's not much support below for the bond. People don't want the bond psychologically. That's not a very good place to be. But the 7% seems to be a level that indicates a lot of weakness in the market, in the bond market, and Italy unfortunately has hit that level, and that sort of spooked the bond market itself. So.
And I do want to take a step back and look at commodities now. Crude oil futures were down earlier today, but we are back up. Right now we are above the $97 a barrel level. Given the concerns about global slowdown, why are we seeing this advance in crude?
Well, don't forget, crude is off overall from much higher levels earlier in the year. So I think this is probably, most people are feeling that between $85 and $100 is where crude will settle in for a trading range, and I think that's what we're seeing.
Okay, Doreen, last but not least, we're still on Wednesday, and we will be getting a slew of economic data releases as well as earnings tomorrow as well as Friday. What should investors be watching?
Well, I think, quite frankly, that the economic data and the earnings are really overshadowed with the European situation. I think that we should be focusing primarily on what is going on in Europe, and I think individually, obviously, as earnings come out, good, bad, or any surprises or anything that's particularly off the mark is something that we'll be watching for. But I think most people are anticipating, in terms of earnings, consensus views, and the real surprises are coming out of Europe. So I think that's really where we're going to keep the focus.
Okay, Doreen, thank you so much for your time today, and thanks for all your insight.
You're very welcome. Thank you.